I just wish that we celebrated things that was not linked to us being colonized as like a good thing. Why is all of our history about submission? In this Nigeria, fighting does not even wait for time. You'll be fighting in your sleep. You'll be sleeping and fighting.
Sometimes it don't make no sense. Does it really have to? There is nothing I...
Hi, welcome to Mayowa's world. Okay, so today I am going to Badagry. We are staying with my partner's family. And there's a couple things I want to talk about going to Badagry. So this is my second time going. I actually really love the city. I think the city is really rich in terms of like the things that are produced from Badagry, like the coconut oil, the palm wine, the fish, like because it's like a waterfront city. So there's all these like really good things that I like about Badagry. But something that I've noticed is like whenever we go there and people want to talk about Badagry, about the cool stuff that they offer. And this isn't just like a read on Badagry. I feel like I'm gonna sound like I'm speaking really badly. This is actually a read on like pretty much every city I've been to in Nigeria. It's like every single time that we like want to talk about like the really cool, like infamous things of a city, it's always like really colonial things that have happened. And like from my perspective, I'm just like, this is really, really whack. But from people who are local or native, I feel like they think it's really, really great. Like one of the things that they always talk about in Badagry is like the first story building, which is like the first building to have like 2 stories. I'm gonna be honest with you, this might be disrespectful. That building is ugly. That building is very ugly. Not only is it ugly physically, it's ugly historically, okay? Because that was the first building that colonizers built, that they lived inside of, that Nigerians were forced to build for them. And we are celebrating it. Like, I don't know, for me, sometimes I'm just like, what's the disconnect? Like, nothing about this is like good. What happened to us that we think that that's good? It was just like, there was another history that I heard. Like somebody was like, it took 9 whole years before they could convert the first Nigerian to being Christian. And it was a very violent history before that happened. And I'm just like, that just sounds really, really painful. And Badagry is an interesting city because even though it's a very beautiful place, like the palm trees, the water, the food, even though it has all those aspects, there's something really, really sad that continuously lingers in the city. And I feel like that about a lot of cities, but Badagry specifically, I think just knowing that was like the first place that colonizers, white people came, and the amount of people that have come to Badagry, not even just the British, you also have the Portuguese, you also have, I think, the Spanish. So many different countries have eaten from there, and that was always the first place. So I feel like that the amount of things that they've seen is probably just really depressing. But on top of the fact that it is really depressing, I just wish that we celebrated things that was not linked to us being colonized as like a good thing. I feel like, I don't know, it's equivalent to being from the South in the US, and someone being like, let me show you Black American history, and then showing me a plantation. And being like, this was the first plantation that African Americans worked in. Like, that does not feel liberatory to me. Like, there's so much history that is not that. And I'm not the kind of person to say like, oh, I don't think we should ever acknowledge the bad things or the colonialism, because it's a huge part of how we became who we were. But I feel like I just wish that they spoke to those things. But I feel like the reason that they don't want to speak to those things is because so much of our history and about who we are is innately seen as bad because we are Black. So anything that is really like rooted in Blackness, which is like a lot of West African spirituality, like they just really don't want to talk about it. And if you don't want to talk about the West African spirituality, you're essentially not talking about the country, because you can't separate the two, especially if you're talking about things, the years of colonialism and after. I would love to hear into details about the ways in which we fought for 9 fucking years. There was apparently 9 years of war, of us trying to fight colonialism before somebody was Christian. What was those 9 years like? What was this 2 years like? Like, there's such a erasure and an intentionality of only speaking about certain things. And I feel like it's definitely like my socialization of being around Black Americans, of like this genuine resistance of that, heavily resistance of that. Like, I feel like when I found out about African American history that goes to hoodoo and voodoo, African American history that goes to like the food and the ways in which we fought back, even iconicizing, iconicizing isn't the right word, but even remembering and venerating people like Harriet Tubman, someone who decided that they don't want, not even that they don't want, that they literally must go for freedom. Those kind of stories is the things I want to hear. Who was the Nigerians that decided that this, like, that was like, I'm not doing this? Why is all of our history about submission? That like makes me feel not good. And Badagry is like, I have a feeling that there's some things about Badagry that feel very stagnant. And one thing I saw is like, I've never seen any city in the world personally that has as many churches as Badagry does. And I feel as if there's something here. I don't know how to put my finger on it. I don't know if you are understanding what I'm saying, but there's just something there's a block. Personally, it feels as if the city is grieving. That's kind of how Badagry feels, because it feels like there's just been so much atrocity and there's so many things on halt, like so many projects not finished, so many things paused, because I feel as if the city never wanted those things in the first place. I don't know, maybe I know you guys are like, but I read a lot of things into stuff, and I love the city because, like, once again, it feels as if it's the kind of place that literally can produce anything that you ever need. Like everything that you ever need could come from this place. And a lot of Nigeria is like that. Like it's abundant. Nigeria is abundant. But when it comes to what we have, scarce. Or what we're allowed to have, scarce. As in, like, I think Nigeria imports 97% of the goods. So my question is, like, why aren't we allowed to make our own things? I feel like there's a lot of layers, secrets, things hidden, and I can feel that when I travel. This doesn't only read about Badagry. Abeokuta has things the same way. Like, even when we go to a Lumo Rock in Abeokuta, there's certain things they want to tell you about the history. It's just not really, it just be making me feel some type of way, because I feel like they're omitting a lot. When I was in Abeokuta, there was like a place that it literally said like shrine. It said like shrine of this and this and this. And I asked the lady, and she didn't speak to it. And when I asked about it, she was like, yeah, not really. It's not really a shrine. And I was like, it literally says shrine. But I feel like she doesn't want to talk about it because then she'd be getting into Yoruba spirituality. And I feel like a lot of times, because of the way Christianity has come over for us, we fear discussing those kind of things. And it makes me very mad. Like, I want to feel connected to my culture, and I want to know the whole history. I don't only want to know about when white people came and painted Merry Christmas with red paint on our bodies and took a picture that is literally hanging in the first story building. Content warning, I'm just gonna put the picture up, but like that is like the energy when you get in. And then the back of the first story building looks as if it was a plantation. And I'm going on a historical rant. Things that aren't discussed as well is the ways in which slavery was happening here in Nigeria. I didn't know that until I came here. I didn't know that we were literally being enslaved by white people in Nigeria and also in the West. It's different, but I feel like it's not spoken about. So these are all the things that I'm just like, this is why I enjoy traveling, because I really love uncovering these things. And I feel like I kind of butt heads a lot, because whenever we do these little tours, I just feel like I have a lot to say and I have a lot of questions, and they may not necessarily enjoy my questions, but I feel like it's very important. And I'll say this warning again, because I said this in the last video or 2 videos ago, which is like, I would not advise people to go, I would not advise people to go on these little tours, these little slave tours. I would never advise that, because I feel like the way they teach it is so numb. It could, like, I wanted to fight. Like, I was like, he just needs one good back. Because he was saying things, and I feel like detaching himself from it, and almost even being prideful of this like really horrendous history. I feel that the people who are doing those tour guides, at least in Badagry, don't really, and I'm not gonna speak to everybody, I've just seen like 3 or 4. They don't really have the empathy. And I feel that as someone, and I'm very sensitive, I literally stormed out of that slave tour because I was crying. I couldn't take how they was talking about the history, talking about people who were literally stolen. My body could not handle it. I just walked out because I feel as if I don't know, I'm really in 2 places. I feel equally both, like, yes, I am Nigerian, but I also have been socialized by African American history. So I've never been able to remove myself. I see myself as both. So when I hear things that are disrespectful to one end, I can't turn myself off. So I just walked out. So I wouldn't advise people to do it because I feel like it makes you feel, it's just not, and I don't think that they're even telling you like the truth, the full story. I feel like they're literally telling you things to always have Christianity and whiteness victorious. I feel like our history makes us seem very submissive, and I know in my spirit we fought, but we don't talk about it. And I think we don't talk about it because we don't want people to feel like we can fight again, or we can resist, we can push back. It's always and it's same in America too, same with African American history too. There's always an intentional like muting of things that could potentially make you feel like a revolution could be possible, potentially make you feel like you could make a change. This is wrong. It's always like they tell you really horrendous things and then they try to like immediately tell you about how like they weirdly twist it to be like, but it also brought like, yeah, you were colonized and it happened for hundreds of years and you lost everything and we took all your money, but at least we brought you education that we're gonna put student loans on so that you owe us debt for the knowledge that we took from you. Like, I don't know. My spirit is very fiery. I feel a lot. I can't ignore what I feel. So that's kind of, I feel like I started this with fire. The next video is gonna be me and Baragri boarding the boat, having a cute little moment. Yeah. Partner's family. And when you're like really sleepy, but you have to get up because you have to do family life, and you have to get up at like a really unrealistic. I ain't never seen no turkey like that. Oh my god.
I was gonna imitate, but I was like, yeah.
No, they finna. Oh,
maybe they don't like us.
Okay, so it's the evening time, the sun is setting, I'm watching it set. I just got some really exciting things in Badagry. I got some bags, some purses from Cotonou, because something I've been thinking about is how like when you're here, the most accessible kind of bags and clothes is always like always like fake Prada, fake Gucci, fake always American, British, European brands. And I really wanted to be able to wear Nigerian brands. Like I really want to wear and find out more Nigerian designers here in Nigeria and wear things that are native, because I feel like this it's like, I don't know, especially too when you grow up in America, it's just not I don't really care for brand names like that. Like, I really like good quality handmade things. And there's these bags that a lot of people have in Badagry. I'll show like pictures, but I'm very excited to like have my own. And the lady I got it from was really nice. And I bought actually quite a few, like a lot of them. And then I got some really pretty Ankara. I got 6 yards because Ankara always comes in 6 yards. I'll show you guys what Ankara is. But I got 6 yards, and me and my partner also got Ankara so we can wear like matching outfits and stuff like that. Which is we're gonna get it like tailor made and wear that. And then on Saturday, my cousin is getting engaged, so I need to get Ire and Buba like this like native outfit made because this is like an engagement where the families meet and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try and go to a tailor and see if they can like do an express thing. But I got the lace here. I got this like kind of off-white light pink lace because I really love like white and kind of close to white colors and stuff like that. Oh, the sun is just set. But yeah, it was a really good day. The only thing I didn't get, which I'm kind of sad about, is I didn't get coconut oil because Badagry is like, there's just abundance of coconut. It's abundance of everything, but there's an abundance of coconut, and I really, really wanted to get coconut. But I feel like I kind of waited to the last minute, and then suddenly, like, I just don't know where to get it. And like now, I leave really early. Like, we have to catch the boat that goes back to Lagos, leaves at 6 in the morning. So many things in Nigeria just start so early, and I guess it's because people here in Badagry commute to Lagos, but my god. So yeah.
A camera.
Yo, I know I look rough. I'm in a robe, but I'll keep my glasses on. I just got back from Badagry. When I tell you, this journey back, it was rough. It was a rough journey. So yesterday I was catching a boat back to Lagos. So yesterday we go to talk to the person driving the boat. And I asked him, oh, what times are your boats running? He's like, we only have one boat to get from Badagry to Lagos. So I was like, okay, so what happens if you don't get that one? Like, they only do one boat a day. So I was like, okay, so what happens if you don't get that one boat? He's like, then you don't go. And I was like, okay, so what time is the boat leaving? Thinking like 12 noon, 1, 3 p.m. He said 6 in the morning. I said, baby, what? He said 6 in the morning. There's one boat leaving Badagry, or leaving this part that we were at, and it's at 6 in the morning. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, there's no later time. He's like, no, there's no later time. So I was like, okay. He gave me his number. His name was Michael. I'm gonna call you out because everyone needs to know who you are. So he gave me his name. I got his number. The next day, 5 in the morning, we're up. We're ready. We get to the place early because your girl fucking lived in Germany. So when someone says a time, I'm thinking it's the time. I get there 6 a.m. Mind you, it's cold as shit. Like, I know Nigeria is like hot, whatever. In the morning, before the sun comes out, it's cold as hell. And mind you, we about to get on a boat. I'm dressed in my best thotty behavior. So I don't even have like the proper clothes to be able to be in the boat. But anyway, I manage. 6:30 comes around. I'm not seeing no one. 7 o'clock comes around. I'm hearing someone say, oh yeah, you know, African time. I said, okay. 7:30. There's no motherfucking boat. There's no boat. Then I see one boat leave at like 7:30, flying right by. I called this man. He did not pick up my call. So Michael, if you were watching my video and you saw me sitting and you saw me standing waiting for boat and you just zipped by, I hope the water just splashed in your eyes. Because what? So then this other guy was like, that guy wouldn't even stop here. He was like, he's not gonna stop here. He was like, what you need to do is you need to take another boat that goes to another part and then take another boat to where you need to go. And instead of, you know, my boat from Lagos to Badagry is 45 minutes, a 45-minute journey. But instead of that 45-minute journey, this is a boat that's stopping many stations. Like, you know how a bus stop be stopping at hella stations? This was like a boat stop. It was just loads of stations. It was just a load. Anyone who's working in mining or anything that's kind of taking from the ocean, we would stop there, which was a whole nother discussion, because it was very depressing to see. We were just seeing a lot of things that I just know isn't good for the environment, isn't good for the environment, isn't good for the people who are indigenous to the area. Oil just spilling into the water, like substances of like bright colors just spilling into the water, like things that I know is dangerous for the workers, dangerous for the people. Anyway, I'm not trying to get, I'm like every video, these things be making me so really like so sad. But anyway, so we left at like, I don't know, 8. We take the boats, we drop by all the stations, we finally get to Lagos. My whole thing is, in my opinion, the best way to survive or live in Lagos is if you're someone who, if you're someone who like the times, it really matters, I would say like this isn't the place. Because one thing about me, anywhere I go in this country, I'll always bring a book. You will not see me with no book or no journal, because I already know. It's just not gonna happen. It can happen, but it could easily not happen too. And fortunately, I feel like there's always a community kind of hustling and a community trying to like community help. Because when people saw that we were standing outside for an hour and a half with no boat at a dock, that song, sitting on the dock. That song was really what the fuck we was doing, just sitting on a dock for a man that said he was going to be there at 6. And we see our own boat at 7:30, zooming by, not looking, not making eye contact. So I don't know, but then someone told me that he wasn't, like, technically the guy's not even allowed to come to that. So him promising that was already him kind of like extending himself. But I don't know why he just didn't tell us to go somewhere else. But anyway, child. So we, I just know I always carry a book with me, and I've always been the kind of person where like I can like really entertain myself with like nothing kind of thing. Like, I'm not somebody who, like, if something is late, I always feel like I have something to do. I'm not really like so upset. And I also I think if you have work and you have to be somewhere at a certain time, Nigeria, Lagos is very stressful, because guaranteeing that everything will work in that time is really unlikely. But if you kind of have a job or you're finding ways to make money where you don't necessarily have to be somewhere at a certain time, and you're somebody who can be patient, like I stay with the book on me, I stay with writing, and then also too, I really just like looking at the water, so it's actually okay for me. Then when we get to Lagos, we get into an Uber. This Uber man was yelling at us, like, get in the car. My partner, when I tell you they descended, like, I was like, oh, I really have a Nigerian babes now, because the way they descended, like, why are you yelling at us? I was like, this Lagos rage has even entered them, because I just kind of feel like a lot of times to survive here, you have to like be able to evoke anger really quick. Like it's the morning. One thing about me, I really hate fighting in the mornings. Like, I hate waking up, and I've had so many fights in the mornings. I've really had to fight for myself at 7 a.m. 8. In this Nigeria, fighting does not even wait for time. You'll be fighting in your sleep. You'll be sleeping and fighting. Like, and so sometimes I think I can be, when people are unfair to me, sometimes I can be quiet, but it's like if you do that, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. So something I've had to do is just like, it's just a lot of fighting, particularly in Lagos. Like, being in Badagry is always so relaxing, because I love water. I love like adorning myself with things that I get in markets and stuff like that. The only thing I was sad about is I didn't get any coconut oil, and I didn't get any like I didn't drink like fresh coconut. Like, for me, I feel like, what's the point of going to Badagry if you're not getting like coconuts, But it was a really great adventure. Like, I think one thing I'm realizing now is like I'm doing a lot of really adventurous things in Nigeria. Like, I never was someone to describe myself as that word. I don't know, but people really pointed out like, oh, that's really adventurous. And I was like, huh? Like, when I was on the boat, everyone was like, 'cause we was the only fucking non-men. It was like everybody else was like mining or like whatever. We was the only non-men. Like, we was the only people on that boat that wasn't a man. And I was just like, damn, I feel like I'm in a lot of situations that feel like this, and I just feel like I just get used to it. And I really like to travel, and I really like to go and see parts, you know, and with how Nigeria works, like your plans can often get derailed. So there's so many experiences to just kind of observe and watch a lot more and stuff like that. Somewhere I really want to go is I want to go to Cotonou in Benin. That's like my next place that I'm like really excited about. But this weekend I'm going to my cousin's engagement party. So tomorrow I need to go. I had to quickly get some lace. This is my first time getting lace made for myself. I got like this kind of off-white lace, which is really pretty. So I just need to go find someone who can make me an outfit in a day, because I need it by Friday, because I'm leaving Saturday morning. So I have to, and today's Wednesday. So I have a very busy week, but I really like that. I really like, on the light exposure, I really like feeling busy. God, I'm sorry. Maybe I don't. How about I cough like that? Maybe that was. I like feeling busy sometimes. Let me correct myself. So, yeah, it's fun. I have a lot of fun things coming up. Yeah, but now I have therapy. I have therapy in like 5 minutes, so I'm gonna get ready for that and talk to you guys either tomorrow when I go to get my clothes made, or you'll see vlogs for my cousin's wedding. Bye. Oh no, not wedding. Sorry, engagement party. Bye.